Oh, beautiful.
So today we're going to do some ball speed testing. Welcome back. So today we're going to do some ball speed testing. I've got to be honest, I'm pretty excited. So I thought I'd set a marker for where we are this off season. So we'll get ball speed and carry numbers for a normal drive, a harder drive, and then a full send drive. And then we'll compare it to what I'm getting in April, because if you follow me on Instagram, you'd have seen that I said 182 mile an hour ball speed by April, mark my words. So that is the goal. After seeing Rory hit it 191 ball speed, that's just a disgrace. And he's 5'9", and I reckon I've got a few kicks on him, but admittedly, I don't have his ability or his flexibility. But I reckon we can get into the 180s. That should be like, we should be carrying it well over 300 yards then, so exciting. There's a lot of talk in the golf world at the minute about distance, and you know what? I thought I'd just get involved because, can't lie, I absolutely love sending golf balls. And if you're hitting drivers hard, you're gonna have fun, aren't you? Right, the guy's just come in to adjust the hitting area because it wasn't registering. So we'll start again. Pretty loose now. I'm worried that by the end, I'm knackered, because that's like the last time I was sweating. Yeah. Right, we'll start with some smooth ones. This is just a standard drive for the clubs. Pretty much the same. One more. A little bit right, but... So I'd say I've hit 3 pretty solid normal drivers for the course, and I'll show you the numbers for this. Right, so here are the numbers for the first 3 of it. These are just 3 normal drives. Right, so if you go through the data, these are the 3 numbers I'm looking at. And you can see there's only a mile an hour difference between the fastest and the slowest of those 3 swings, so they're pretty good to compare. So you can see they're pretty similar. All roughly 168 ball speed, all carrying between 275 and 282. The spin rate on those is very consistent and very nice, actually. I'm happy with that. 2,300, 2,400. You probably could spin it a little bit lower and launch it a bit higher, well, you definitely could to get more distance. But you can see I'm still getting decent carry numbers with this swing, and this isn't a driver swing for me to get distance, this is to hit the fairway, so a little bit more spin with a slightly lower launch gives me a little bit more control, so I'm happy with that. So I just thought I'd take that first driver hit and have a look from this point of view, and then have a look at the club data as well. So I'll do that with one of each of the different driver swings so we can get a real feel for it. But you can see there it's one of the lower drives I hit, so peaking at about 80 feet. And then if we look at the smash factor, that's what I wanted to talk about. The smash factor is basically the amount of energy transferred from the club head to the golf ball. So it's a ratio between the club head speed and the ball speed. And I just googled it, the PGA Tour average is 1.49, so 1.48 is pretty good. So if we start on the right hand side of this page, take a look at the club path first. So that's a positive 0.5 degrees, meaning it's coming 0.5 degrees from the inside or to the right hand side. Then the face is 0.4 degrees closed to that path, but in actual fact to the target it's 0.1 degrees open. So that's why that shot's a little draw, because to the club path the face is closed, but to the target line the face angle is 0.1 degrees open. So these numbers are actually really neutral. I'm very pleased with them, to be honest. But the face is ever so slightly open to target, which means the ball's going to start ever so slightly right. And because the club path is slightly inside with the closed face to this path, it's just going to be a tiny, tiny baby draw. On the left hand side now, we can see the attack angle is a positive 4.7 degrees. That means I'm hitting 4.7 degrees up in it. And McIlroy hits 5.6 up in it, so that might seem quite extreme, but it's pretty optimal, to be honest. So that means I'm delivering the club with the dynamic loft to 10.5 degrees. The dynamic loft is just a loft of the club face at the golf ball, which might seem a bit confusing because I've got 10.5 degrees of loft in it and I'm hitting almost 5 degrees up in it. You'd expect it to be like close to 15 degrees, but it's just the way I deliver the club. It means that the actual dynamic loft is 10.5. So it might surprise you that I don't have a really low lofted driver like a 5, 6, 7 degree long driver or something, but it's just about the way you deliver the club. So you shouldn't always just take like the numbers on face value. So you see attack angle, you think, oh, you need less loft. But that just wouldn't help me because the dynamic loft is only 10.5 degrees. I've hit drivers that are 8, 8.5 degrees, and yeah, you might think, oh, it looks cool on the driver head, but it might not help you because I definitely don't carry them anywhere near as far compared to this 10.5 head. That's why I think driver fittings are so beneficial if you go and see somebody who understands TrackMan and understands TrackMan data. However, the launch and spin definitely aren't optimal for drive distance. As I've already said, this isn't a drive where I'm trying to hit it miles down the fairway or something. This is a drive where I'm just hitting it on most par 4s, trying to hit the fairway. So the slightly higher spin with a lower launch does help me hit the fairway, but if I got that spin rate down to closer to 2000 and that launch above 10 degrees, I'd definitely carry it further. And it's quite interesting to see how this changes when I start hitting it harder, trying to hit bombs. So you'll see that in a minute, but let's get back to the golf now and watch me hit some more drives. I don't know if anyone's ever used these before. They're 4-inch tees. They're a joke how big they are. Because the tees here are pretty long, but they weren't long enough because, see, I hit 4.5 degrees up on it. I need quite a lot of tee height to get that elevation. It's McIlroy style, I think. A few, a little bit harder now. So that is a terrible strike. See, straight away, trying to hit harder, strike goes. That's, to be honest, on the course side, it'd be fine, but no good at that. The club speed wasn't even up, so I felt like I was hitting it harder, but I wasn't. That's definitely a little bit harder. Okay, so club speed is up to 116, ball speed almost 172, approaching 290 carry. Okay, so that's a harder swing, but it's not exactly full send. I could definitely play with that on the course. That spin is nice, spin staying down, so. I'm using Pro V1s, by the way, so that's the actual ball I play with. So that's another good one. Right, if you go through the numbers on the last three, this is hitting it harder. You can see straight away from up there, the carry has jumped from roughly 278 to close to 290, 289, 292, 289. If we check the ball speeds, that's 171.6, 171.7, 171.5, so very consistent. Carrying, yeah, well further. Right, if you take a look at the middle of those three drives, the first thing you'll notice is that the traj of this one is peaking at 100 feet, which is about 20 feet more than that first fairway finder drive we looked at. Think back to that first drive we looked at and compare these numbers to that. We can see that the ball speed's increased by 4 miles an hour, which is decent, but the carry's increased by 15 yards, which is massive. So according to TrackMan, an extra mile an hour ball speed normally gives you 2 yards extra carry, but here I've got 15 yards from 4 miles an hour, so it's well over that. So I think that's a pretty conservative estimate. So from that 116.2 club speed, I'm getting 171.7 ball speed, which is giving me the exact same smash factor as that first drive we looked at of 1.48. So that tells us the efficiency is exactly the same, and basically the quality of strike is the same. So they're a brilliant comparison, really. So looking at the club data, see the path again is slightly from the inside. This time the face is slightly open to the path, so I've just hit a little push. It's hitting the fairway all day because they're pretty neutral and small numbers, but yeah, it hasn't drawn back like the other drive. Apart from the increase in speed, the big difference with this drive is the increase in attack angle and launch angle and the reduction in spin rate. Those three combined with the increased speed have made a massive difference in the carry and given me those extra 15 yards. So that ball's now spinning closer to 2000 with a higher launch, and that's really how you optimise these drivers. These modern drivers aren't like the old ones. These are all about launching it high with low spin and just carrying it miles. Back with the old school drivers, these numbers just wouldn't work, but the technology now is so good that it really is about launching the ball into the air. Right, so I don't want to talk too much more about that drive because we discussed a lot of it in the previous drive, but I do want to get onto the real big drive and we can dissect that properly and understand what I need to do to hit absolute bombs, baby. So this is the drive I'm using, the Gen 1 M2, 9.5 head. Can't really see it, but it is actually lofted up a degree, so it's playing 10.5, just helps me launch it. Can't see it either really, but the shaft is a Matora, it's worn down, it's so old now, but it's an X-Flex 65 gram mid-kick. We've got the mid-size multi-compound, it's worn out as well, but it's got 2 layers under, so it's thick. You can see how nicely it sets up behind the border. Look at that, it's just flush, isn't it? It goes without saying how expensive new drivers are, but I got this head off eBay for 80 quid, and this shaft for 50 off eBay, with the grip, what, 12 quid? So it's 142 quid for the whole driver. When this was new, I reckon this was close to 500 quid, if not over. Yeah, it would have been over. The shaft was like 300 quid in itself. So tell you what, if you hunt, you can properly find some bargains. Right, anyway, let's get sending some balls. So I appreciate the camera work isn't the best on this, but hopefully you can see what I'm getting at, and this will be a great base to look at come next year, come March, April time when the season kicks off. First off, apologies for this terrible camera angle. What I'm trying to say here is that I'm not just going to start hitting it further by hitting it harder. It's about the whole process that goes into it. It's about the strength and conditioning in the gym, nailing that nutrition, the speed work, the technique work, the rest, the recovery. All these things together combined help increase that club speed, that ball speed, and in turn increase that carry distance. I'm currently putting a plan in place for myself for the next 6 to 9 months. I'm going to document it all here on YouTube and on Instagram, so go follow me on there. I'm going to cover all the variables I've discussed, keep you up to date on what I'm working on, what I'm focusing on, try and maximise that speed and carry distance. So as I said, you can follow along, it'd be great if you did. So you can take what I'm working on and apply it directly to your game, because a lot of it will be 100% applicable. And if you're honest, like, who doesn't want to hit it further? And if you do hit it further, it's just a fact that your scores will reduce. I'm not saying it's the most efficient way to lower your scores, that just depends on the player, but it is a way that you can improve, show off to your mates, and get yourself some results. So in the next clip, I'm just talking about potential drive upgrades. I had a fit in with Callaway about 18 months ago while I was at St Andrews. My mate Adam works there and he's an absolute monster when it comes to golf tech and equipment. Yeah, so try the Epic Flash when I was up at St Andrews. Adam up there at the Callaway Fitting Centre, he knows his stuff to a T, next level like that. But yeah, he got me in the Epic Flash and we got straight away 2.5, 3 miles an hour extra ball speed. At the time it was 550 quid for the one he fitted me in, so I couldn't afford it. So we actually got this because I had this SLDR, which was well down on this, so we said, you know what will suit you mate, get a Gen 1 M2 and put this shaft in it, because I had this shaft in the SLDR, and it just worked instantly. Yeah, so the fact that this just worked without me even trying it does prove how much you know your stuff, Adam. So if you're watching this mate, appreciate it. I miss being able to exploit you in the academy. Alright, let's go full send now. You can see strike is starting to play. My club speed's not even going up there. As you can tell from the first few I've hit, full send, the club speed's barely gone up and the ball speed's not gone up. And the carry's come down because strike is just nowhere near as good. Smash factor is well down. Need to get one. Right, that was nailed. Just squatted up on it. Right, so now we're talking 117.6, 175 ball speed, 304 carry. And I just squatted up on it. So what's interesting about that, launch angle was well up. So squatted up on it, 6 up, 304 carry. Long ball! Long ball! Blocked it a little bit. Right, let's bring you in to have a look at these numbers. 3 shots there, I've gone full send. You can see 304 carry, 302 carry, 301 yards carry. So it's dissect them. Club speed 117.6, so it's up. Ball speed pretty much 175, 304 carry. That was the best strike, that one. 1.49 smash factor. Spin not going up at all, so it proves that shaft isn't too weak for me because I'm hitting it harder and it's just performing better. So very good news. Same again, spins come down. Launch angle's definitely gone up as I'm trying to send it because I'm trying to squat into it. So it's just causing me to launch it better and just hit it miles further. So look, you can see from a normal driver swing, 280 carry, to a harder driver swing, 290 carry, to a full send driver swing, over 300. So ball speed, the highest ball speed I've got is 174.8. Honest, I'm sweating, but I'm pretty pleased with that. So 174.8 is the highest ball speed I've got so far. I reckon I've got more in the tank, but I've got about 10 minutes left. I'm gonna go toilet, have a little sit down, get my breath, and then hopefully get over 175 ball speed, because that'd be sweet. So I said 182 by April next year. I reckon I could do that, because as I said, with a new driver, there's 2 miles an hour there straight away. And then what, I need another, so I need 5 miles an hour more in 6 months. I can do that. Because I reckon if I'm 182 ball speed, I'll be carrying it well over 315, I think. Approaching the 320 mark, which is long. Which is exciting as well. I'm pretty buzzing, to be fair. I'm quite pleased with that. Yeah, so stay tuned, see if I can get any more ball speed than that. Just been stretching my back out because it's getting a bit stiff from here, so I've had a little 5-minute break. Just got to squat up. That's the highest club speed for me. Well, I didn't strike it, so you see Smash factor's down, so the ball speed isn't quite as high. Still gone a long way, but gotta be honest, I think I'm getting a little bit tired. We'll give it a few more goes. Can't get above 175. Give it one more go. Oh, there's the club speed. Ignore the strike. That's club speed. That's an extra mile an hour. So I've got more in the tank. So that club speed has jumped another mile an hour, which means I've got more in the tank. That strike was horrendous. So ignore the strike. Club speed's good. If I can get that club speed with a better strike. Off. Get the strike, and then club speed goes down. Oh. Come on. Woo. 176.3 ball speed. 119.6 miles an hour. Buzzing with that. Woo. Strike, ignore the strike, but club speed 119.2. Right, we're in business now. Club speed, got 3 above 119. Just lose the strike, so we're out of time now. Give it a few more. Right. That's the best one. Woo! Finishing on that. Right, so I got more out of it. The carry went down on this one. I accidentally just deleted one, but I had 3 in a row with 119 or more club speeds. This one was 119.6, 176.3 ball speed, but you can see strike was down with a lower smash factor, so it didn't carry as far. But then this one, 119 club speed, so a tiny bit down. Ball speed pretty much the same, 176.2, and it carried 306 because the strike was better. It wasn't absolutely flushed, but it was pretty good. That's quite exciting, that. Closing in on the 120 club speed. Couldn't get it today. Back stiffened up a little bit after hitting so many drivers, but I'm pretty...
Yes, mate. I'm actually really pleased with that. Going into this session, I really didn't know how far I was going to hit it. Haven't been on track man in well over 12 months. I was just thinking, if you can get it like above 290 yards carry, that won't be embarrassing. At least you can improve from there. But carrying it 306.5 yards, I'm actually pleased with that. That's not a bad carry distance at all. If we can get that to 320 next year, we'll be in the really long territory. We're starting hitting some like serious bombs. I reckon, like many of you listening, once lockdown hit in the UK, the gym shut and I just completely stopped training. I had no love to train from home every single day. Like, it just wasn't enjoyable for me. And to be honest, this did cost me because I lost a lot of strength, felt really weak. But it didn't actually bother me because I train and I go to the gym because I love it. And I just really wasn't enjoying home workouts. But it meant that my body was not in a position to hit long drives, so when I first came back I really wasn't hitting it far. I actually reckon if I'd have tried to hit it this hard coming straight out of lockdown, I'd have snapped my spine. So I reckon if I can get that to 320 next year, that will be long ball city and we will be hitting genuine bombs. So if we break this one down, let's start with the trajectory that you can see there. You can see it's peaking at almost 150 feet. So it's not far off twice the height of that first fairway finder drive that we looked at. You can see the attack angle is 6.7 with a launch angle of 14 degrees. What's even better is the fact that the spin is lower. So that shaft really is working so well for me. The harder I hit it, the lower the spin. It's 5-6 years old. It's probably like 7 years old, that shaft. So it proves that you don't need to have the newest stuff for it to work well. So this drive really is optimising what these modern drivers are all about. Launch it high with low spin, maximise that carry distance. So if you take a look at the club data, it's pretty similar to what we've looked at already. Slightly from the inside. This time the face is slightly closer to the path, so we get that nice draw, which probably does help the carry distance a little bit because it spins less than a fade. The dynamic loft is up at 15 degrees, so I'm really delivering that loft nicely to the ball, and it's just helping me launch it. And with that low spin, it's just a recipe for carrying a long way. Smash factor again 1.48, so the efficiency is there. I might not think I flushed it at the time, but it's pretty much as good as it's going to get for me. I got a few of 1.49, but 1.48 I can't complain with the strike there at all. Club speed 119, we need to get that above 120, get into the close to the 125 really, and then as I said we'll hit it absolutely miles. So if you compare this drive to some of the numbers that I pulled off from the TrackMan about the PGA Tour, so they're saying the average smash factor on the PGA Tour is 1.48, so we've nailed that. And they're saying the average carry is 275, so well over that. That's not what we're after here. We're after the long boys, so let's have a look at what they're hitting it. Before we do that, I just thought it'd be interesting to note how similar that first fairway finder drive that we looked at is compared to the PGA Tour average. So you can see it at the top there. So club speed exactly the same, ball speed the same, smash factor the same, carry distance pretty much the same. Two very, very similar drives. I just thought that was quite interesting. Right, so on the screen is the data for the ball speed from the 2020 season. So you can see Cameron Champ basically averaged just shy of 190 miles an hour, which is just insane. I don't know if anyone saw it last week, but Rory put it on Instagram that he got 192 miles an hour ball speed, which is just crazy for a bloke 5'9". But you can see that's what Cameron Champ averages, with his fastest speed being 195. Then look at Bryson, you can see he's averaging 184.7 with his fastest 197.6. That's crazy. That is just mental. That just shows you how far these guys are actually hitting it. And we know Bryson's still in Ronnie Coleman off-season mode. He's eating so much food, 5,000 calories a day. He's nailing his nutrition and he's doing it for a consistent length of time. That's what it's all about. So it's going to be absolutely no surprise when he leads the driving distance next year. He's got his fair share of critics, but I'm a big fan of him. I've got a lot of respect for him. It's not easy eating that much food for a sustained period of time. He's nailing everything. He's turned it into an absolute science. So I've got respect for him in that sense. US Open champion, backing up all those claims he made about dominating by distance. But if I'm being realistic, I'm never going to hit it Bryson's distance or get his speed. The guy's 110 kilograms, 6'1", and he's literally about to snap his spine and knee on every single drive, so it's not really what I'm after. But if I can get my ball speed up to 182, even maybe north of that on full sends, and then have it just under 180 on a standard drive, the advantage I'm going to get next season will be huge, because then I'll just be flicking wedges all day into the greens. So many more birdie chances. Proximity to the hole will reduce massively, and the number of birdie chances will just go through the roof. Because that's how you make birdies, isn't it? Hit it to 15 feet, hit it to 12 feet and hold those. Because over a season, the more of those you have, the more you're going to make, the more birdies you're going to make, and the lower your score is going to be. And that's what it's all about.
Got to be honest, I'm pretty pleased with that. I didn't think I'd be getting close to 120 club speed. And I was hoping about 174, 175 miles an hour ball speed. And the fastest one was 176.5. The longest drive was 176.2 ball speed, 306.5 carry, 119 exactly club speed with 2,220 spin. So as I said, I'm pretty buzzed. I think that's pretty much at the limit of where I am now, like physically, strength-wise. But I think with 6 months solid strength training, I can get that club speed well over 120, hitting it full send. Hopefully can get my normal driver speed to about where that was for full power, and then we can be carrying it well over 300 yards with a normal swing. Stick around if you want to see the journey. It should be exciting. As I said, I'm going to link this in with my fitness stuff, strength and conditioning stuff. But thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. If not, I hope you just enjoyed watching me smash balls. Do you think I can get to 182 ball speed for next April? Let me know. See you next video. Nice one.